A revolutionary. Say whoa. Trap revolutionary. Got the wave it too scary. Doing this thing like Malcolm ain't by any means necessary. We ain't got it by no one seen hand. We got the master plan. Get the movement going on. Right here where we stand, man. We bucking and stumping, fist pumping. Even though they tried to set us up for failure and kill us, we keep on coming. That's why somebody gotta step up and say something about the bullshit. Because if not, the blind gon' keep leaving.
Hey y'all, I'm going to do this video real quick. Something I had thought about in regards to the aging process, right? Now, I turned 50 a year ago. To me, I said this is me. You know, I know other people probably feel like, man, you know, you turn 50, you're an old man. You know what I'm saying? Some people already claimed that I was a senior citizen. But I would say my age, I'm at the half mark of my life, right? I would say I feel like my age has reset itself. And I had a birthday yesterday, and essentially I turned 1 year old. With that said, you know, I want to break down the science of it, though. The reason I say that. Now, you have what's called DHEA, dehydroepiandrosterone. Dehydroepiandrosterone, you can look it up. This is a hormone that reduces inflammation, swelling, essentially, repairs the body and actually slows the aging process. And you actually stimulate DHEA through meditation. Instilling yourself. So, and for years, I practiced medicine. I still do. And I need to do it more. I need to actually get more into it and just kind of get myself back into the groove of meditating. But that's one of the things that I benefited from and helped keep me looking so young so long. I know just here recently. And I've been, and honestly, I've been on an entrepreneur journey, kind of chasing the dollar. I ain't gonna lie, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I kind of got off my, my meditation and, I guess my more so spiritual journey. You know what I mean? That spiritual journey, which is, helping people, trying to do things to, other people's benefit instead of to a selfish end, which I would say a selfish end, which is, entrepreneurship, or, you chasing material things. You want to have nice things, you know what I'm saying? You're working hard. So, you can have those particular material things. So, with that said, I just think that, I think that I kind of I ain't gonna lie, I got off track in that sense. But, when I did practice, like I said, meditation, meditating and really, I really did. I feel like I kept myself younger for so long, you know what I'm saying? Because I was basically like still in my aging process, like through meditation. I would meditate, 20, 30 minutes a day, like every day. And when I was 30, I was looking 20, you know what I'm saying? And it just on and on. Of course I look a little older now, and I'm getting up early in the morning, so I'm going to work. But and after work, I don't get no rest. I'm literally doing business stuff. But I would say, with meditation, getting the proper amount of rest, and I would say even your diet, your nutrition, you can actually, improve your aging process. I put it like that. I'm not going to get on here and be like, yeah, you can completely stop it, but you can improve it. And I think, with that said, those components working together, you can actually, you can benefit from it. And like I said, you can basically, kind of slow down your aging process. Cause, we all know there's certain things that, you really can, you can end up speeding up your aging process if you do, like if you're doing a lot of drinking, you're doing a lot of smoking, eating just all type of, greasy food, bad eating, bad eating habits, you know what I'm saying? You can increase your aging process, so I would say there, with that, I think that we can begin again, with our age, you know what I'm saying? We can begin again and actually start to heal ourselves and basically have a new beginning, you know what I'm saying? Where our body is healing better and not getting older. You're maturing in age, but you're not breaking down. Your body's not breaking down because you're not aging it, and putting so much wear and tear on your body to where, you become, your body it starts breaking down, where you actually do, age yourself and at a rapid rate, so I would say, like I said, I turned 50 a year ago. I feel like my age, I reached the half mark of my life, and turning 50, I feel like I hit a reset button, and then now, like I said, I turned 51 yesterday. It's, to me, essentially, I've turned 1 year old going forward. I'm looking at it like, through certain things I've done, just trying to keep myself healthy. My age is different from a person that's 51 or 50, in their 50s that have been drinking and smoking all their lives, not exercising, So, it's a difference, it's a biological difference, physiological difference when, it's certain things that you do. And like I said, stimulating the DHEA, dehydroepiandrosterone, when you have stimulated that particular hormone in your body for years, you've slowed your aging process. I mean, you can, and, slow your aging process and continue to slow your aging process, where you will, pretty much, like I said, begin again. Or when you do turn that age, that's why I said, when you do turn 50, it's like your body's resetting, or you're going through a reset. You're resetting because of the fact you've been practicing meditation, you've been exercising, you've been eating right for those years. Your body doesn't reach a normal 50, that other people will reach. So you can reset. Your body can reset itself, in a different way, and have a new beginning, at that particular age. Because at 50, actually they do say, like, 55, you're considered where you can start getting certain discounts, senior discounts. Of course, 65 is you considered a senior, but going through that process, so like I said, you doing the right things, your body will reset itself and begin again. Meditation, eating right. You are always stimulating the hormone DHEA. When you do meditate, or you have certain times to where you're stilling yourself. So I would say that's the science behind it. Why I say I'm like, hey, yeah, I was 50, turned 50, and I feel like my body reset itself. I'm like and I'm essentially turning one, because going forward, and also I've had an uncle to live, like he lived to be 103. So it's like, at this point, I'm like, okay, my body's gonna be to where I'll be able to live that long, hopefully longer. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm looking at. But I would say, for us, older men and women, this generation, this particular, the way we age now, I think we age better. I do think we age better. And I think we're more aware of certain things and what we need to do to, to keep ourselves healthy and, just stress-free, try to be stress-free, you know what I mean? Because that plays a major part in it as well, you know what I mean? So And I encourage, brothers and sisters out there, saying y'all, you don't have to like go crazy with the exercise thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody's probably gonna work out like I do in the gym and, hit it like that. But I would say, man, just like 10 minutes a day. Even my older people, y'all out there and, y'all, probably, thinking like, dang, I don't know where to start. Like, you start in your living room, like doing a little, just standing in place, walking 10 minutes. Like, seriously, like do something to be active, because our bodies were not made to be sedentary. We just sitting down all day, we're not doing nothing. You know what I mean? I was even going to say if we were meant to be that, we wouldn't be a human being. We've been born a plant or rock or something. I don't know, some dirt or something. So, just think about that. Our bodies were meant to move. Try to be a little more active. And take time out to where you do exercise. 10 minutes a day. Like I said, you can start in your living room, walk in place. That's a start. If you can't walk outside, or some, maybe, like I said, stay inside, walk in place. Just do something, standing in place, jumping jacks, if you can't move your legs, move your arms. It's something just to do to just try to be active. I said 5 to 10 minutes a day. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't want to do that on the weekend, don't do nothing on the weekend. But do something though. We like I said, we're meant to be active. And I just, like I said, I wanted to get on here and say that because I think that we have, in this society, we have like, I guess, been programmed to where when we consider getting old, we're kind of like, oh, our body's going to deteriorate. It's going to deteriorate, and we're just going to get old and decrepit, not be able to move, not be able to do things, and move, and be active, So, I think that's something that we have to dispel and we have to really, man, guard ourselves against. You know what I'm saying? That's not good, to think like that, for real. I think we do ourselves a big disservice by thinking like that. You know what I'm saying? That we're going to break down or, we can't move or whatever. Granted, yeah, like when someone's done had surgeries like me, I ain't knee surgery, stuff like that, hernia surgery. But, I'm still moving, and I experience pain, just like everybody else. But I know that I have to move through it, and then I also at the same time heal it as well by certain exercises, certain activities that I do or whatever. So I would say that, and also, in the sense of, like I said, your body resetting itself, and you're doing those things that heal your body and that will heal you, and essentially where you do reset your age. That's gonna come through those healthy practices, and then like I said, eating a nutritional type nutrition plan, eating something that is healthy for your body, your blood type. Like I said, through the meditation, stimulating the DHEA, dehydroepiandrosterone, and stimulating that hormone. Trying to stay stress free, not letting anything, bother you or worry you. We all go through stresses, but then sometimes you just gotta let it go. That's just what it is. Like, you really do. You just gotta let it go. Like, hey man, this, I can't hold on to that. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna do nothing for me. Ain't gonna do nothing to stress me out. I'm moving on from it. And it is what it is, What else I would say that helps in that process? Like I said, stress, trying to, stay stress free. Definitely exercise. Don't forget that. Definitely exercise. Still yourself. Meditate. In eating right. Trying to eat a nutritionally, I would say nutrition dense meal plan. Instead of calorie dense, I would say, because calorie dense, that's more like, you can eat all type of stuff and then it's going to load on calories, but eat something nutritionally dense, as far as food, meals and things of that nature, because you can eat, like for instance, you can eat some potato chips that have the same calorie content as some avocados, right? But the fat content from those chips are going, those nutrients, or really you can't say nutrients, those calories are going to affect you different than the calories that will come from avocado, because from avocados, you're going to get your essential fatty acid, you know what I'm saying, your saturated, I guess, monosaturated fats, you know what I mean? So you're going to get some different nutrition. It's going to be better for you, you know what I'm saying? Be kind of like, the difference of eating, some Snickers versus eating apples, Yeah, it's going to be the Snickers is like, filled with calories, but those calories are going to be different compared to the calories that you're going to get eating apples. You know what I mean? The apples are going to be way more nutritionally beneficial for your body. You know what I'm saying? So you got to think in that sense, And, I'm not eating perfect, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause my vice was eating ice cream. I was like Cookie Monster, I'm an ice cream and, cookies, type of person, you know what I'm saying? So I even had to improve. I had to get away from like eating ice cream because I was just doing it on a regular. And then my excuse is that, I exercise, I'm gonna work it out, but that's not healthy. That's just not a good way to think. You know what I'm saying? I would say even that, try to, think about the way you're thinking, you know what I'm saying? Possibly, change that for the better. And then it's something my mom's pastor said, went to church with my mom the other day, and pastor was talking about just health and healing, and just mentioned something that stuck, that hit home with me. She said, you have to create an atmosphere, that God can work in, that God can really be in and do some work in, you know what I'm saying? So, and I would say in creating that atmosphere, you have to create an atmosphere of health, with your body, you know what I mean? Like, and I would say even in that sense, because, they were praying for people, doing healing and, and everywhere praying, healing and miracle prayer. I would say even in that sense, you have to create that environment, like within yourself, in your body, you know what I mean? Because the prayer is going to do the work, but you got to do the work as well, you know what I mean? Create that healing in your body, you know what I'm saying? Eating those fruits and vegetables that can, like I said, contain that nutrient dense, calories, those nutrient dense calories that'll heal you, you know what I mean? Versus, food like the Snickers, the chips, a lot of fried foods, sugary foods where, because cancer binds to sugar, you know what I'm saying? I know some of the people that, family members that may have, had experienced cancer, went through cancer, or even possibly passed with cancer. Y'all probably know that, like, doctors will tell you, like, hey, you got to cut the sugary foods out, you know what I'm saying? And, because cancer binds to sugar, even, like fatty foods, just, all type of foods that have, are laden with, just, I would say negative calories, you just got to cut it out, you know what I mean? Like, create an atmosphere where God can dwell in, can exist in, and can actually do the work and heal your body in, and those things, like, are essential, you know what I'm saying? And we have to understand, it's just like in James, chapter 2, verse 14 through 22, you got to have faith with work, but you got to have the work, because you can't just say, oh, I got the faith, and not do the work behind it, you know what I mean? So, I just consider that. Create that atmosphere, and that was a good word. Like I said, my mom's pastor spoke the other day. Create that atmosphere that God can work in, where God can dwell within you and do the work. God can go to work. You know what I'm saying, and make some things happen within you. So just think about that and consider that. You know what I'm saying. Like I said, I just want to get on her, and I think we don't have to go down. We getting older, and we don't have to go down. We ain't got to deteriorate. We don't have to deteriorate. We ain't got to be decrepit, can't move and all that, man. Let's all, let's work. Let's put in some work. Young too. I mean, younger folk out there too. Just think about what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Instead of, doing a whole bunch of drink and smoke. Hey, man, if you're going to drink a little bit, but don't kill yourself drinking. I'd say it like that. You know what I'm saying? Kill yourself eating, everything in moderation. I would say that, you know what I'm saying? But like my mom's pastor say, create that atmosphere that God can do the work and dwell it with, especially my people out there that's, maybe sick, maybe kind of going through a little sickness or whatever, create that like I said, that atmosphere that God can do the work within you, where you're healing yourself through nutrient dense foods, it's going to be beneficial for you, you know what I'm saying? So just think about that, consider that, and actually, reset your age, you know what I'm saying? Reset your aging process, reset it, reset it and make it, like I said, and glow from it, you know what I'm saying? Because even though like we getting older, I think we grow and we get better. I really do. We grow, wiser and more mature and get better. So just think about that. But yeah, I just want to get on here and say that. I just think my age, like I said, my age is I'm getting better. I really am. I'm getting better, and I'm thankful for it. And I got some things to improve on, to work on too. Getting more rest. Like the stress, letting it go. Sweets and stuff like that. I'm getting better with that. I can say I'm getting better with that. So it's some things I can improve on too. Mainly it's like, the eating the sweets. I'm starting to do that. I already exercise and stuff like that, but, just, meditating a little more, being, like I said, a little more, less apprehensive about certain things. I can improve on that, so, I would say that, you know what I'm saying? Let's all, kind of think about it in that sense. Let's all work, and try to, help each other. Even if I get on here and provide some helpful information, I'm gonna do that. Let's all, take that, into consideration, and let's all, put in some work, man, and get ourselves together. And like I said, it's a blessing just to be here, as we are, and try to make the most of it. You know what I'm saying? Be blessed and be a blessing to yourself. With the Creator, what the Creator gave us, to be here in this form. As the most high form, you know what I'm saying, of life, the highest form of life. So yeah, I just want to get on here and say that, and just want to, kind of shed some light on that. You know what I'm saying? The science behind, like I said, slowing the aging process down and getting better as you get more mature in age, But anyway, I'm gonna get up out of here. Just want to get on here and say that. Hope everybody out there doing good, doing well, living life, full of love and happiness. Till next one, y'all. Love y'all. All right, y'all. Yeah. So the books I read on DHEA, which I was talking about, dehydroepiandrosterone, is mentioned in the book Ageless Body, Timeless Mind by Deepak Chopra. He also wrote about it in a book called Quantum Healing. So these are like two very good books. He's got a number of books that he's written, but Ageless Body, Timeless Mind, and Quantum Healing. He talks about DHEA, like I said, dehydroepiandrosterone in those books, and he's just talking about how you basically still the aging process, or you slow the aging process through meditation, because meditation stimulates the hormone DHEA. So that's just something I want to mention. If people are interested in reading the books, and like I said, going further and breaking down the science of because I know I explained it here. But people probably like, man, where you getting this information from? But those are the books, two books I read, like I said, Ageless Body, Timeless Mind, and Quantum Healing by Deepak Chopra. So if you want to, check them out. I know you can probably get them on Amazon or, whatever. You look for them online, and you can, find them. But anyway, just wanted to mention that so people could, if you want to do further research on it, on the topic, what I'm talking about, you can do it. All right, y'all.
Fuck it, go ahead and blow off the dough. Step through the maze, man, and became amazing. About to rewrite history and change the page in a crooked book that never told us the true story. Like how we were kings and queens before the slave story, before the killing, stealing, and drug dealing on some real shit. We ran the world.